fact, it's a very essential source of ourself within us that is nothing but pure essential love. And we're starting to discover that. We're starting to see and understand and feel what that really is. Do you know what I mean, Jelly Bean? Are you following my flow, Uncle Joe? You getting my heart there, Mr. Art? Ms. Divine, oh, you're so refined. Babies, I can't tell you what a pleasure and a privilege it is to be here with you this morning on the Coyote Medicine Show and to be chatting with you like this and to be going with the flow of this beautiful rock and roll and soul and country and everything else we got going on here. We got all the genres, man, but mainly rock, you know. But, oh, we do like to roll, too, babies, you know. So we got all the different kinds. This is like the old FM station here, kind of, in that you get quite the variety of tunage here, babies. You know, we span the ages and the generation, though most of what we play could be considered classic. A lot of it comes from even the 1950s, man. I mean, just shoot, you know. It's amazing what we've come through and what this music's represented to us over these years. So, yeah, it's a musical flow here on the Coyote Medicine Show. It just picks up with whatever we're talking about and takes it on into the flow of the deeper understanding, the better feelings. You know, the more deeper your feelings, the more you do understand. The more you allow the depth of feeling, the more you find the height of living. You know, that's what the reality is here, man. That's what we're up to. Is, you know, we're just stepping into a place called feeling. You know, and understand most of us, you know, not all of us, but most of us have been kind of stuck in more or less a place that I would call superficial feelings, feelings that we create in order to accommodate the moment, but real feelings tend to like escape us, you know, the really deep stuff, the stuff that you can really feel. Most people have been kind of afraid of it, you know, there's been guardians over our heart that have tried to keep us from feeling forever. You know, I mean, that seems to be the inheritance we received as just being born as human beings, you know. Well, we're dealing with that now. We're finally getting to that place where that no longer remains as a factor in our life. We're releasing the guilt of the ages. That feeling, and it's not really guilt, I don't know how to describe it, but that feeling that said, you deserve this, you know. You done wrong somewhere. And there was something we just couldn't let go of way in the past, you know. And so it passed down through the generations, this feeling, you know, this feeling of unfeeling, this feeling of like, but it went on in a very subconscious and subliminal way. Most folks not even conscious of it. It just slips into you as you start to grow into the dumbness of this reality compared to the brightness of where you just came from. See, you go and stay home on the mothership while in between shifts here, you know. You go and regenerate over there, and you pop on back in here and do it again, Jelly Bean. You know what I mean. Oh, it's not always the simplest or the easiest of journeys that we could accommodate ourselves in, but babies, I find it to be so pure, so respectful of life, despite the craziness that we see here and all the insanity that goes on and the cruelty that we practice. Wow. There's such a blessing in all of it. You know, sometimes we go through a whole life just for the simple endurance of it. Just to test our soul, stretch it out to the max, see how far our heart can really take it. You know, I mean, we may not understand it at that level as we're living it, because you seldom do. You know, you seldom get it while you're going through it. Now that's changing, thank goodness, but back then, no way, man. You got the experience, it felt like you were dumped on, like, you know, there was a dump truck dumping, you know, loads of crap on you every 3 minutes or something. It just, wow, where did that come from? But sometimes you'll live a challenging life like that just to realize and understand how far you can really go with it, how much you can really take. You know, that would explain a lot of the life in the cities around us, you know, where it can be pretty damn tough, you know. That would explain a lot of that kind of existence. Some people, some souls just want to see how much they can take. You know, it's kind of like challenging yourself to go climb a very tall mountain, or, you know, maneuver a river in a tiny little kayak thing, man, down through roaring rapids and stuff, man. That's, dangerous turf, baby. But some people like doing it. Some people get off on it. They like to challenge death, show it that they got more life than death does. You know what I mean? It's not a bad thing. It just is a different way of being, that's all. Some people have to go that road, and it's understandable. Just about everything is when you get to a certain level with it. That's how you can let go of anything that's holding you back, or anything that you've been holding on to in the way of like hatred or judgment towards others or anything like that. It's time to just give it up, man. Realize you are who you are and be that person. Just be that compassionate, loving, and gracious being that you truthfully are. It's real easy. It's just different than you know yourself to be. You thought yourself was kind of, a streetwise, getting by kind of person. Yeah, right. That's not you. That's some accommodation you've made, so that you could extend yourself into the reality. But that's not you. Feel what you're feeling now, this arousal, this awakening, this warmer feeling inside, is what is beginning to show you the truth of your gracious self. And you'll see it as you go through your day now. You'll be surprised at how gentle and graceful you can be, and how that is far more powerful than all the streetwiseness you could ever muster. Think about that one, babies. Yeah, just let that one stir the stew a little bit this morning here on the Coyote Medicine Show. Only on the Hazy Radio Network, babies. We're in flight this morning. They got that right. The hearts are light. And we're coming back to light. Babies, old Grandpa says it. It just flows and it glows. And so there it be. And that's what we are, don't you see? Only on the network called Hazy. Oh, babies, we love you. Oh, babies, yes, indeedy, getting down to the heart of the matter here on the Coyote Medicine Show, only on the Hazy Radio Network. Your ticket to flight here every day, every night. Actually, we're only here in the mornings, but babies, we're 24/7 when it comes to living. You understand? Babies, that's in the heart where we're given. Yeah, exactly. So we never stop, in other words. We're right here for you 24/7, just like you are with us. That's the feeling of unification we've been experiencing this morning, right here together as a group, as a consciousness, as a person inside of yourself. Yes, indeedy. We realize what other people have, dreamed of for ages, and now it comes floating in its own little stages, and we just let it be, and let that be the fulfillment of our divine mystery. Oh, indeed, don't you see? Don't you feel? Don't you know? Live alive, be in this glow, go with the flow. Ah, yes, now you know, you understand, you're beginning to get what the flow is. It's a literal river of love in which we live. We're part of that stream. We're a particle in the stream, a particle of love. An influential one, yes, because we're conscious of the whole stream. We're conscious of the ocean that we're heading towards. We're conscious of the skies from which we came. We're conscious of all the land and turf we've passed through and all the life that's in it as we've gone flowing down this stream of life, as we've become the river of life. Still, that one little tiny drop of rain that started way up there on a mountain peak somewhere and made its way all the way as it goes along to the vastness of the ocean of love, completely conscious within it and able to create from it as that single drop of water, form with other drops and become the dynamic and powerful phoenix bird, the thunder beings that you truthfully are in that tiny little drop that you be. Oh, babies, that's how we fulfill a whole bunch of history, unraveling what's been bullshitted to us throughout that history, baby. They change it. I mean, you know, talk to me about the 60s. Sometimes I've had kids argue with me about what happened there because they read it on the internet and knew it was true. I said, baby, I was there living that. Now, this is what happened. They change it, see? Just how we tend to glorify people once they're dead and gone, no longer, you know, can be a hazard to us, and we tend to deify them and say what righteous people they are, which, of course, is truthful. So we could say that, but, you know, when they were living, we didn't necessarily perceive that side of them correctly just yet. If you know what I mean, babies. Oh, yeah, it's been an interesting journey, baby. And many of us have felt like islands in the stream, you know, like that we just had to be there and hold steady, etc. Babies, those times are now finally melting away. As you feel the unity inside with all these other hearts in your tribal family, what the vibe tribe, in other words, babies, that unification takes you to those places where it's solidified in creation. This is how we create. This is the beginning of the demonstration of love and its active role in your life constantly. Something you will never forget. Something you have always tried to remember and to live, though it was dubious, at the least, what little we could accomplish before these times of tremendous awakening. Simply a matter of timing, don't you see? The game's over, the gig is up. Now we can take off the makeup and the costumes and become those beings that we truthfully are. Now we can put away the stage act and the drama and just live life happily. In fact, we're going to a cast party first thing down there at the Brown Derby, man. And a few other places around. I hear there'll be a big party at the marina and up on Malibu. Maybe out here in the desert, too. Who knows? We might fill this little valley up with some ancient souls that really want to party down. I mean, you know, who knows what's going on here in this old world, but we just let the heart lead us into it, because that's where we're living now, unified in that energy, unified in that life, letting go of anything that ever held us restricted in any way. Yeah, why? Why would we want to be restricted now? Now that we finally have the opportunity to get down to our basic and real ways of existence that are so expansive, they take all of life with us. The energy of our love is that powerful. And we're beginning to realize the nature and dynamic of that power as it proves itself to us and proves to us, yes, we're worthy. It wouldn't be coming to you otherwise. You understand? You've held it away from yourself. You've been the one that has felt less than sufficient here because you've been told by others that was your truth. Well, now you no longer have to listen to that bullshit. No matter how much truth is in it, if any, or all of it, it doesn't matter. What you're living now is what matters. What counts is what's happening right in this moment. And babies, if you know that, if you know your heart, you know your love, you know the purity in that, shoot, you got nothing to worry about. Nothing can get in your way now. You are free of that dowry old past and of all the guilt trips that were ever laid on you by anyone back there. You know, each one of us gets clobbered one way or another, some of us pretty severely. As children, there's a lot of feeling against children. There has been in this reality, you know, that a lot of folks can't stand the reminder of the innocence. Drives them berserko. So they get cruelty. They try to, anyway, all kinds of crap has happened in that area, which has traumatized the children that we are now still. But, babies, this is how we release it. It's getting right down to the heart of the matter, just doing it. Just letting it go. We don't have to hang on to any of that old judgment or that old pain. We don't got to be a victim anymore. We don't live there. This is now, not then. This is you as you are, not something you were or something that's been. It's something you are. Yeah, you're a bit of a product of the past, of course, but you're also a product of this heart, which has brought you through that past, and quite gracefully, I might add, despite what you think about it. You start to look at it through these eyes, you understand, then the ways of the heart. The unified eyes will show you. So be expecting stuff to come bubbling up inside of you today, and as you go throughout the rest of your journey here in life. You've changed, you've opened, you've grown. You're learning how to relax into it. So things will come bubbling up, understandings. People call them epiphanies. But it's a moment of understanding, a moment of amazing synchronicity, etc., etc. Life, love seeks to prove itself to you, so you always will, quote, quote, believe in it. Oh, I mean, come on, guys, live it. You don't believe nothing. Live in it. Yeah. Let it show itself to you. Relax yourself into it. Give yourself the time to do it. I know I say this over and over again. Well, maybe someday you'll give it a dang try, huh? And then I can talk about something else. It's far more entertaining. Maybe we can talk about horse races again, you know. It's been so long for me since I've been to a horse race, I almost forgot what they're like. But you know, it would be a joy to go to one sometimes. I think I will. I love the ponies. I know some people think that's animal abuse and so forth. Well, I'm sorry, But if that horse didn't want to be doing it, guess what? It wouldn't be. They got a will of their own, too, and it's pretty damn strong. I don't know if you've ever worked with these animals, baby, but I have. And I understand them deeply, and they understand me. And I'll tell you what, if they weren't happy doing it, it wouldn't be getting done. There's always a way out. These guys are not stupid. They're highly intelligent and sensitive critters. Horses and all of creation as well. But horses in particular have a really, really high form of intelligence that humans have yet to recognize. Well, some have, but basically it's unknown in the reality. The significance of horse. That's why in the year of this horse, as we call it symbolically here, we're becoming transformed. The horse has the strength, the energy, and the nobility to pull this off. The horse is their own person. And always have been and always will be, though they seem to be subdued, by mankind. It's not true. Humankind, I should say. That old way of saying it, bullshit. Man got bullshit on anybody. We're just human. Human. We don't got to be a gender. We are what we are. We drift that way. That's the way we should be, So, darlings, these horses, just these noble beings rising up. And I'll tell you, they don't do anything. Everything they do is voluntary. You got to think about the cattle too, but it's in a little different way voluntary. But I'm telling you guys, the horse is the one completely capable of escaping you anytime it feels like it. It subjects itself to your treatment, whatever that is, out of its own nobility, out of its need to experience whatever it needs to experience. It's the same as you, and every bit as independent too, in its own person. An elegant being. Meant to carry energies for us as well as our physical burdens, our big fat asses every now and then, etc. An animal here to show us the steadiness of pure love, given in an intelligent way that has its own independence. Babies, it's like this whole life is a living metaphor, and everything we do is essentially a practice in truth. Like, for example, here, we're actually living in a peaceful and equitous way with a very noble being of equal status in reality, if you want to call it that. I don't give status to anything, but that equal vibration. The same abilities and gifts in the heart, in other words. The same divine intelligence, only far more refined because they're allowed to keep it. As they're living in the horsey form. We don't. We're dumbed down. And this is another reason why horse has tolerated its existence with us as human beings. And because it's highly entertained by what we will do in our dumbness. In its nobility, it sees the joke in it. It sees the metaphor far more clearly than you do. See, this is coyote medicine. This is why I call all of life coyote medicine. It is Just exactly that, a living metaphor. Everything is a representation, a metaphoric representation of a truth. For example, in the areas of intimacy, we're trying to fulfill an emptiness. Now think about the instrumentation there and follow the flow. You see what I mean? In physical practice, we're representing a truth, but metaphorically. In reality, the heart, we are trying to fulfill an emptiness, to achieve something that feels like a need, and to fulfill it and orgasmically fulfill it. And I don't see anything wrong with that, do you? I mean, most of us practice it one way or another. But we've been made to feel so uncomfortable with it. And the reason being so you wouldn't see the truth. To kind of block your vision. To see what you're truthfully doing there. And I'll no further describe it than that. Let your own heart take you there and demonstrate the reality and show you the metaphor. And you'll start to chuckle and laugh. When we're together like that, we probably ought to be, by this stage of the game, like little kids, discovering something new, something we really want to understand. We ought to be, completely innocent about it, in other words. The fullness we feel, is quite innocent. And as we move in that way, as we become full, it is like children that will play. And it's much better that way. Because it is innocent. Nobody can draw judgments or play stupid games or anything. We're just kids. Kids loose in a candy store, babies. That's our reality. That's our truth. That's our paradise, man. It's exactly like that. So says Grandpa once again here on the Coyote Medicine Show. Only and exclusively on the Rockin' Old Hazy Radio Network. We love them silly, baby.
This must be just like